All right, we are up to 5-2, day one. We're going to start with ellipses. And the reason it's day one is they're going to start you off by warming you up with ellipses that have center 0, 0. And then, of course, day two, they'll start shifting the center and showing you how the equation changes. But there's a lot of little parts to the shape of the ellipse, and we're just going to dive right in and talk about it. So, again, the center is 0, 0. You've got these little F's here, these little points called F. And those are called foci. So if I said, okay, that's actually a focus, and that's a focus. But if you say it plural, it's foci or foci. I've never really looked it up. But that distance is important because in class, what I do when I teach this is I have two students grab a string, and the string's kind of drooping down like this. And they hold the string here, and they hold the string here. Then I grab a marker, and I push against the string. It actually draws the ellipse for us. So, in a strange kind of a way, at any given moment, this and this is what the string would look like, and then my marker would be right here. These are called focal radii, which is kind of like a circle. So what's an ellipse? It's kind of a messed up circle, to be honest with you, but just to give you an idea of what the purpose of those two dots are, but those are called the foci. Now, this is important, but this right here, the distance is c, and therefore, so is this. Now, the next thing I need to show you, this might be a little messy, but from here, I'm just going to make it like this, to here. And what I'm talking about is this whole distance is called the major axis, okay? And that's from here to here, but it's actually the x-axis in this case. Now the x-axis would be then broken up into two halves. This is A, and this is A. Just trying to squeeze it in there. And so if that's the major axis, then this whole thing from here to here must be, and I'm not going to draw it in there, but this is the minor axis. So I'm just going to draw an arrow and call it minor axis. Now what's the minor axis built up from? That's B, and that's B. Okay, my drawing's not perfect, but you get the idea, I hope. Now the other thing is this. The foci, or focuses, are always on the major axis, always. But I want to make a point now, a couple things. This right here, the way it's drawn, would be considered to be this. It would be x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. Now that's very significant. In one of my previous lessons, I did kind of shed some light on circles, and that is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So for example, x squared plus y squared equals 9 would be a circle with center 0, 0, radius 3. Now, these are similar, but different. Because as you can see, A is going to be different than B, because A is bigger than B, okay? So we keep that in mind. We do know that A is going to be always bigger than B, which sheds light on this. This is the way you should look at it. Notice my A is underneath my X. That's indicating that my X-axis is my major axis, which will be significant because they're going to ask us to find the foci. So we need to know that the foci are going to be on the x-axis in this situation. Now I'm going to erase this. Just give me a second here. And I'm not going to go into so much detail, but this time I'm going to draw my y-axis and my x-axis, and there's my center 0, 0. And I'm just going to do my best to go here and here, and then just to draw an ellipse. There, that one was a little bit better. So as you can see, where would my foci be? Approximately there, approximately there. And so now this is my C, this is my C, This would be my B, this would be my B, this is my A, and this is my A. So in this case, generally speaking, the formula or the equation would be x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1. Notice where the a is. It's underneath the y. Therefore, my y-axis is my major axis. And then the other thing that is one of the formulas for this is a squared minus b squared equals c squared. Now that's dangerously close to the Pythagorean theorem, but it's a squared minus b squared equals c squared. It's this formula that will allow us to find c, and that will allow us to find the exact point where our foci are. Okay? So that's it. That's your warm-up. Let's dive into that packet lesson.